Hello, my name is Oliver, and the assignment is exploring SQLite databases with DB Browser. I really liked the DB Browser. I found this to be amazing, a fantastic tool, so I really enjoyed this assignment. We'll start with step one, which is going to be to install it. As you can see, I've already done that. And I have to download a data set from Kaggle about US wildfires. So I've done that as well. Just assuming I hadn't, though, I would simply, download it, put it where I wanted to, and then just open a database file, and it's really that simple. It just kind of pre-populates, follow the default steps there. You can confirm it's done by clicking on the database structure, and from here you can see the different tables, views, and whatnot. It makes it really easy to do so. I'm used to starting from having to type, select everything and then kind of figure out which columns are what from that. So this is a fantastic tool. Um, so I have that up. Showed you how that's done. Um, Now we're going to talk a little bit about kind of seeing the data in a table, and then we're going to add a little bit to it. So to do that, we're going to go over to SQL, and then we simply do, oh, it's already here now. Let me just discard that one. So we would just say select, and we want to see all the columns uh, from, and then it was called fires is the main one. Uh, and I could kind of tell it's somewhat self-explanatory, like where else would you expect to start? But this is really like the most granular element, I would say. So start there, select everything from fires, and then just because we don't know how big the data is, I've already seen it. It's not like insane, but I don't want to crash my computer or anything. So we're going to say limit 20, and then put a semicolon there, and let's run it. Um, and I don't know why I didn't go through that time. Oh, oops. There we go. All right. So yeah, it shows the different. Uh, let's start by like checking out the columns here. So we have the different object IDs, the F fire something, whatever that stands for. We could probably tell by looking at the data and the documentation a little bit more, the source system types. And from here, you can kind of see what you want to query a little bit more. El Dorado National Forest, ooh, that's interesting. That might be something good to query on. The name of the fire, that's going to be a really good one. It's not name, it's fire underscore name. So this will help us kind of, this is how I like to do it anyway, select everything. Limit, always put that limit though, and make sure you to capitalize it too. Haha. Um, yeah, and then we've got the year. So there's some really cool stuff we can query by. But there are a lot of columns though, that everything from latitude and longitude, which is really cool. And uh, I don't know if it's standard or whatnot, but it's a lot of tables. So if you were going to, just add in a row of data using like SQL, um, it would be it would be a lot, if we wanted to make sure it was filled out properly. So one really cool thing that SQLite does, and that the assignment instructs us to do, is to add a row to it. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to show you how I would go about doing that. Um, so I go over to Browse Data, and it allows you to browse by the various tables, which is really cool. Um, Nothing really under there. Uh, yeah, and this is just, you know, fires is going to, I think, be the good stuff. What's wild is that it just loads the first. Okay, it looks like it tells you here. There's 101,860,465 entries in here. So um, that's a lot, but um, the system's able to handle it, which is good, I guess. I don't know. It seems like at a certain point you might want to be weary of that. So I don't know what would happen if it just was like billions of entries or something, like if it would just crash my computer. Um, anyway, this is everything, kind of like an entire view if we didn't do the limit 20 like we just did. So to add a row, I find the nicest way is to just simply click the insert row here. Uh, from here, uh, this is really cool. The default values, so that everything just comes out null, and it kind of gives you the starting syntax, which insert into main fires. That's where we want to be. Um, and then from here, you can put, whatever you want. And as you put the values in here, it will automatically translate that to SQL language. So I'm just gonna fill this out here. I know I'm just spamming the to button for some reason. That's a lot. Washington County King. Um, save. No such functions. Okay. Um, just do back and just leave it. So let's see. No such function geometry constraints insert into. Huh. I don't know if it's why it's giving me this much hassle to do this. I think it has something to do with the column. Oh, it might be because it's an integer and I'm not. Okay. Oh my goodness, restore defaults. Yes. So let's see if we can even do this. King state y. Yeah. Yeah, it's really giving us a hard time here. Um, essentially, though, adding something to a mass amount of data like this would be pretty cumbersome. So we're going to go ahead and load a different database where it wouldn't, but before we do that, just get that command because I'm being lazy. Just going to copy that. Okay, so we're going to open the other database, the one that I made from the tutorial, Mr. Oliver and Bill Clark here. Let's say we want to add another line into this one. Insert into customers is where it was. Yeah, I'll just show you this way. So in a normal world, you can just click insert row. Uh, example. All right, now we can go back. Boom, there you go. And they're in. All right, let me just double check that there's nothing else. Yeah, so going over it, we downloaded the DB browser for SQLite. We created a new SQLite database, as you can see from this one. We talked a little bit about querying, filtering, and updating the Kaggle US wildfire data. I imagine they have some sort of machine that puts their data into that format, um, and then it's in probably a data lake, which has been put into a data warehouse, which is then put into a data set that we have, or something of that nature. Um, and then we talked a little bit about importing and creating tables and inserting data and using a basic select to show how to retrieve records. And yeah, just in reflection, that was a lot of data with the fire, so it'd be nice to go into it a little bit more. I'm really new to this tool, but I really enjoyed using the DB browser for SQLite. I think this is incredible, and I'm looking forward to using this kind of thing more. So thanks for watching.